So what is EC2? EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. Elastic Compute Cloud. So we are going to get Linux, Windows, and Mac servers from AWS Cloud. So from the AWS Cloud, what we are getting is Linux, Windows, and Mac servers we are getting from the AWS Cloud. Storage is provided by EBS. Networking is provided by VPC. Network is provided by VPC. Okay. Any doubts on this? So in the EC2, we are going to get Linux, Windows, and Mac servers. We are not getting Unix operating system. And storage is provided by EBS. Networking is provided by VPC. VPC stands for
Virtual Private
Virtual Private Cloud.
Cloud.
EBS stands for
Elastic Block Storage.
Elastic Block
Storage.
Storage. So now here we are using a term called instance. What is the meaning of instance? What is the meaning of instance?
Virtual service.
It's not a virtual service. It's a virtual mission or server.
Okay.
Virtual server or virtual computing environment from AWS Cloud is called as
Instance.
instance. So it's nothing but a virtual server or virtual mission. Why we are using virtual server is in the virtual mission, maybe desktop class also like Windows 10, that's also possible. That is the reason we are using virtual server.
Server.
Yeah. So now here CPU memory, we are going to get it from EC2. Storage, EBS. Networking, VPC. What is the meaning of storage is just like a hard disk kind of thing. Persistency. That means if you restart your server or if you shut down your server, again we are getting our data or not. In the same way, here it's going to store in the EBS volumes. EBS volumes. Okay. So what is that meaning of EBS volumes is for the persistency, we are going to use EBS volumes. So now after instance, another terminology we need to understand is AMI. What is the meaning of AMI? Amazon Mission Images. Amazon Mission Images. So we are going to get pre-configured OS templates. Okay, it may have OS plus applications plus sometimes it may be databases also. We are going to get those pre-configured OS templates. Okay.
Database.
We no need to install OS. We no need to install the OS. Okay. So that is the main advantage to use. That is the main advantage to use the AMIs. That is the advantage to use the AMIs. Okay. So here, who is going to provide the AMIs for us? Who is going to provide the AMIs for us? Okay. So who is going to provide those AMIs is Amazon is going to provide AMIs. Okay, so we can call those AMIs as, AMIs as community base. Means for the AMI, we no need to pay the money. So we no need to pay the money to. So if I use the community-based AMI, what is the advantage? So we no need to pay the money for AMI. But for what we need to pay the money? So we no need to pay the money for AMI, but for what we need to pay the money? So we need to pay the money for instances we need to pay. For the
AMIs.
instances, we need to pay, not for AMIs. Okay. Community AMIs are free. If we choose from marketplace, we need to pay money for AMI also. Okay. We need to pay the money for. Do you understand what is the difference between community base and the marketplace?
Yes.
Community means AWS is providing. Okay. So that even we can also create, but marketplaces, those are commercial images. Okay. We have one more type. We can create our own AMIs also. So that means we can create our own AMIs also. That is also very, very important for us. Okay, why we'll create our own AMIs also, we'll discuss. Okay, so what are the three types of AMIs we have? Community base, marketplace, or our own AMIs we can create. Okay, then instance types. What is the meaning of instance types is? So we have the different CPU, memory, hardware. Okay, options are available. Okay, say if you go to maybe like maybe a showroom, TV showroom, mobile showroom, they'll show a lot of models, right, for us. Like this, here also we have lot of types of instance types. Depends upon our budget. Depends upon our budget and usage. We need to provide the right or appropriate instance type. Okay. So what is the usage of the client and what is his budget? Accordingly, we need to suggest the best instance type. We need to suggest the best instance type to the client. Okay, so we have lot of types of instance types. What are those instance types we have also, we'll discuss. Then one more point, security groups. So what is the concept of security group is? It's nothing but a firewall or firewall rules. Firewall is not called as security group. Those firewall rules are called as security groups. So normally what a firewall will do? Firewall will filter the traffic coming to the server. Okay, what is the traffic coming to the server? It will filter the traffic. I'll tell one example. We have inbound rule and outbound rules. What is the meaning of inbound rule is? From outside to the traffic coming to the server. Outbound is? What is outbound? From server to?
Outside.
Outside, what is the traffic is going on? So firewall is called as security group or those firewall rules are called as security groups?
Firewall rules.
Firewall rules.
Firewall rules. Okay. AWS by default provides one virtual firewall for every instance. AWS is going to provide a virtual firewall for every instance and it depends upon our requirements. we need to configure depends upon our requirement, we need to configure the firewall rules. Those firewall rules are called as security groups. Security groups. In Azure, those are called as NSG. What is the meaning of NSG? Is network security group. Say the purpose is same. Here we are calling as security group. In NSG, it's called as National
security group.
network security group.
Network
Okay.
security group.
Network security group. And
Similar
we
like that,
took Linux instance in inbound. We need to open the port number 22 for SH connection. Okay. If I don't open 22 port number for SH connection, even if you create the instance, we can't connect to that instance. What is the meaning of SH? In anywhere in the world, if you have a remote Linux instance or Linux mission, if you want to connect to that, we need to open the port number. We need to open the port number 22. Can you guess, is it in inbound or outbound? Where we need to open that in inbound rules or outbound rules? If we don't open in the inbound, that input traffic is not allowed. That means its entry is not allowed. Hence, in the inbound rule for Linux instances, what port we need to open? What port we need to open? 22. For what purpose that is? For SH connection. For SH
Connection.
connection. Okay. For Windows, we need to open RDP 3389. What is the port we need to open for the Windows?
3389.
3389. This is a remote desktop port. It's not only in AWS, not only in Azure. Anywhere in the world, if it is a remote Linux server, we are going to connect through 22. If it is a remote Windows server, we are going to connect through RDP.
33.
What is SH port number?
22.
RDP port number is?
3389.
3389.
If we don't open these port numbers in the security group, what's going to happen?
It will block the.
Yeah, we are
It is
not
a-
able to connect to those instances.
Those
We are not able to connect to
Those instances.
instances. And what is the meaning of or your understanding of security groups?
It's a firewall rules.
So
Security
inbound out.
groups are nothing but firewall.
Firewall rules.
Yeah, those firewall rules are called as security groups. Okay.
Groups.
By default, all outbound traffic is opened. Okay. By default, all outbound traffic is, that means not only one port, not like that. Each and every traffic is opened in outbound. But inbound,
Outbound traffic.
in inbound, we need to be very careful. Which of the ports we want to open, those ports only we need to allow. Okay, so we should be careful with inbound rules or outbound rules. With the inbound rules, we should be
Inbound
very
rules.
careful.
Careful.
Okay, I hope you understand, right? What are the security
Yes.
groups? Okay, security groups are nothing but the firewall rules. At the inbound level and outbound level, we are going to open. Okay, so if we don't open the traffic, we are not able to connect to that instance. Okay, so
Okay.
then we have one more is there, key pairs. Key pairs. Okay, so key pair is nothing but it's a combination of public key and private key. It's an encryption or cryptography algorithm which is secure than password. That means there are a lot of security-wise constraints in the cloud, right? People are a lot of doubts whether the data is are secure or our instances are secure or not. That is the reason AWS is not using passwords. AWS is not using passwords. What AWS is using? Key pairs. Okay. So public key is with the instance and private key is with us. Okay. So public key is with the instance and private key is with us. Using that private key only, we can connect to instance. Okay, if we don't have that private key, it's impossible to connect to that instance. Okay, so where is the public key? It's just like a lock and key. So you lock your room. So with the lock would be with the room. Key you can carry. If you want to open that lock, what we need? A key is required. In the same way here, a public key and private key both have been paid, and public key is with the instance and private key is with us. And if you don't have that private key, we can't connect to that instance. And private key, the private key is .pem file or .ppk file. It's available in two formats. One is .pem file, second one is .ppk format. Anything you can download, but I prefer to use initial days .pem only. What is the meaning of .pem is private enhanced mail. That format is private enhanced mail. PPK format is putty private key. Okay, both the formats are supported. One is PEM file, second one is PPK file. Okay, PEM stands for private enhanced mail and PPK stands for putty private key. Putty private
Key.
key. Okay, any doubts? If you don't have that key, as of now, keep one thing, it's impossible to connect to that instance. And if you lost the key also, regeneration of the key also is not possible. Hence, we need to save the key in safe location. We need to have a backup of that in a safe location. We need to maintain. Okay. So if you lost the key, it's not possible to connect to that instance. If you forget the key or if you lost the key, there are some workarounds. We'll discuss that. Okay. Then coming to networking, what is the service is supporting the networking for us? VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. So VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud we have. So now here we are going to get one public IP and one private IP. Who is going to provide the public IP and private IP for us? AWS itself is going to provide one public IP and one private IP for us. Okay, public IP is, what is the public IP we are getting is dynamic. What is the meaning of dynamic is, if we shut down or restart our instance, it may changes. Okay, that means which IP may changes if you shut down or restart your instance? Public
Dynamic.
IP maybe changes. Okay. If we want static, public IP, then we need to purchase elastic IP. So can you tell me what is the meaning of elastic IP? What is the meaning of elastic IP? It's a static public IP.
IP.
It's a static public IP. Okay.
IP.
We can get 5 elastic IPs per region. Okay. By default, we have a limitation, but we can increase our quota. But per region, how many elastic IPs we are getting? 5 elastic IPs per region we are getting. What is the advantage of elastic IP is some servers want static IPs for the security purpose. Okay, those are recommended to use elastic IPs. Okay, and here we have IPv4 addresses and IPv6 addresses. By default, we are getting IPv4 itself. By default, we are not getting IPv6. If want optionally, we can choose IPv6. But by default, we are getting IPv4 addresses itself. When we create the instance connecting going forward, we'll understand all this. All these we'll understand. Okay. So then after IP address, all those, we'll discuss EBS volumes. EBS volumes are nothing but persistent storage is possible with EBS volumes. It's just like a hard disk kind of thing. Okay, say we have different type of EBS volumes like general purpose. Say in the general purpose, we have GP2 and GP3. We have, what are these? We'll discuss why we have the different types. Then we have provisioned. Okay, then magnetic. Okay, magnetic also we have. Okay, these all the different type of instance. What is the advantage of EBS volume is our OS data is, or our application data, user data is persistent. Our data is persistent means even if you shut down or if you restart your instance also, we are getting our data. Okay, if you shut down or restart also, we are going to get our data we are getting. Okay. Say previously there is one more is there, instance store. What is the difference between EBS and instant store is we lost our data if you shut down or restart. What is the difference between EBS volume and instant store? Data is not persistent with data is not persistent with data is not persistent with the instant store, and data is persistent with
EBS volumes.
EBS volumes. EBS volumes, the data is persistent. Okay. Then we have one more important option, user data. What is the concept of user data is we can run launch kind of scripts using user data. That means when I'm connecting to the instance itself, it's maybe logon scripts kind of thing. And the server is logging on. Before itself, I want to run some commands or some scripts. Normally, I'll connect to my instance and I'll perform. But if I use the user data, what is the advantage? If any scripts are there or if any commands are there, when I'm going to run them, at the time of launch itself, we can run those. So that is the purpose AWS has given user data for us. This is a advanced feature. We'll discuss later also. Then tags. So I hope everyone knows about tags, or maybe everyone knows about tweets, right? In Insta also we'll use hashtag. What is the advantage of using the tweet or maybe hashtag? What is the advantages? We can search or filter the resource based on tags. I'll tell one example. I have 40 servers or 40 instances. I have two projects. One is maybe JPMC. Okay, so JPMC is one project. Then city is another project. Okay, 20 servers belongs to JPMC. Then 20 servers belongs to city. Then for those 20 servers, I'll give the tag is JPMC. For 20 servers, I'll give the tag is city. Then easily I can filter the city resources or not.
City.
So assume city is one project, JPMC is one project. Okay.
Okay.
Out of 40 servers, if I assign for 20 resources JPMC and 20 servers city, easily I can filter them. What is the advantage of using the tags? Either we can filter or we can search. So now say suppose you want to search maybe like based on Kohli or Rohit Sharma. If you go to Twitter and if you use that hashtag or if you use that tweet, you'll get that one.
Okay.
So here these all meta tags. What is the advantage of this? What is the advantage is we can search or filter, but purely it's optional. Purely it's optional kind of thing. Okay. So today we will provision an instance. Okay, so today we are going to provision an instance, maybe Linux and Windows also we will provision. Okay, so then another important point is how can we connect to AWS? Okay, AWS having one beautiful GUI that is called as AWS Management Console. That means what is the advantage of this? Everything will do from graphical user interface. What is that meaning of GUI? Everything we are going to do it through graphical user interface. Second one is we can have AWS CLI. What is the meaning of CLI? Command line interface. Command line interface. That means this is we have the commands we have. We can create from this. First one is GUI. Second one is CLI. Developers
CLI.
can use APIs or SDKs also. Developers won't use CLI. APIs or
SDK.
SDKs they can use. Okay, the DevOps team can use IAC. Any idea what is the meaning of IAC?
Infrastructure as a code.
Yeah, infrastructure as code. Okay, so we need to use IAC kind of tools. For that, AWS have one solution called as CloudFormation. What is the AWS IAC solution?
Cloud formation.
Cloud
CloudFormation.
formation.
And we have one third party leader called as Terraform. Can you guess which one we are going to use in the real time mostly? Which
Citrix.
method we are going to provision these resources? Using which resources we are going to provision?
Citrix VMware.
No. We have 5 methods, right? What are those 5 methods? One is AWS Management Console. Second one is CLI. Developers can use APIs or SDKs. Or in infrastructure as a code, we have AWS CloudFormation, or we have a third-party leader called as Terraform. In the real time, which one they are going to use mostly? We are going to use which method you are expecting? We will use this method to provision the resources.
Terraform.
Yeah, Terraform. So companies are, what is the expectation is not from
Terraform.
GUI. Okay, their expectation is
Terraforms.
to provision the resources from Terraform. What is the Terraform means? It's an IAC. IAC stands for infrastructure as code. So we should have very good knowledge on Terraform. Okay, I'll train you Terraform very well. Means they're not expecting to do the things from console. But today, our first 3 to 4 days or 1 week, we will connect through console, AWS Management Console. In Azure, it's called as Azure Portal. Okay, in Azure, it's called as
Azure Portal.
It's Azure Portal. Okay, so we can log in. We can log in to AWS Management Console as a root user or IAM user. Okay, IAM stands for Identity and
Access Management.
Access Management. For the authentication and authorization, we will have the IAM. Okay, if we have 1,000 employees in our company, for each and every user also, we need to create IAM users need to be created. Okay, in the real time, we don't log in as root user. In the real time, we are going to log in as
Root users.
no. We will log in as an IAM user itself. Okay, so as an IAM user itself, we are going to log in. Okay, any doubts on this? Any doubts?
Srikanth.
Yeah.
By using these 5, we can connect to the AWS, right?
Yes. Even there are some other third-party tools also may be there. These are the popular ones.
Okay, so mostly we are using Terraform.
Yeah, mostly the companies are expecting IAC kind of tools, either that's from Terraform or AWS inbuilt solution is. What is the AWS inbuilt solution? CloudFormation. AWS inbuilt solution is CloudFormation, but Terraform is the leader. Okay, so Terraform nowadays it's mandatory skill for any administrator. Okay. So now here we log into.
So by using Terraform, we can manage the users. You mean to say,
Come again?
by using Terraform, we can manage the users.
Yes, anything, any of the AWS service we can do from Terraform.
Okay.
Whatever we can do from GUI, the same thing we can do from either CloudFormation or APIs or CLI or Terraform also. Okay. So now I'm going to log into AWS. So this is I'm using IAM user, but going forward we'll use root account also. So now we are logged into AWS. Second. 1 second. So whenever have tried to create the account. So whenever you want to create an account, go to Google. Okay, AWS Management Console. AWS Management Console. Sign into the AWS Management Console. And now here sign into the console. So now here we can create an account. Scroll down, sign in as a root user or IAM user. As of now, we are using root user, sorry, IAM user. And if you want to create an account, okay, go to create an account also. I'll now use this root user account. So now as of now, I'm logged in as a root user. That IAM is not working.
Second, what is the difference between root user and
Root user is the company account. We shouldn't log in with that. Everyone log in as your own IAM user itself. If any auditing issue comes, we don't know who log into that.
Okay, only IAM we can create, right?
Yeah, for everyone, we need to create the IAM user itself. Okay, so now I'm able to log into this. Okay, so now this is the AWS Management Console, and this is the account details. So here we have an account details, right? 7303. What is this meaning? This is the account ID. Every account will have an account ID. Okay, so just go through some. And what are all these? North Virginia, Ohio. As of now, we are in Mumbai. Okay, what is that meaning of Mumbai region means? We are in Mumbai region. If you want to change it to, you can change to North Virginia. And beside to North Virginia, we have something, right? What is this? US hyphen? US hyphen East hyphen 1. What is that meaning is? That is the region ID. Every region will have one ID. Okay, so now in this scenario, what is the region ID? US hyphen East hyphen 1. In this, the zone may be US hyphen East hyphen 1A is the zone name. US hyphen East hyphen 1B is another zone name. Okay, in 1A itself, we may have multiple zones. And AP hyphen South hyphen 1 is Mumbai, Asian Pacific South. Okay, then AP South hyphen 2 is Hyderabad. Okay, so like this will have for every region will have one ID would be there. Okay, so now which service we are going to use, that service you search here. Go for EC2. And you can join that. If it is an important service, you can add as a favorite also. Just spend some time, 2 to 3 hours, navigate with the portal. Get some ease of accessing. Okay. Then here we are going to click on launch instance. Here an orange symbol is there, right? You click on a launch instance. Then while launching an instance, you can give any name for that. Wipro server 001 I have given. Wipro server 001. Whatever the name you want, you can give the name. Then these all the OS. So these all the OS are, most of them are given by Amazon itself. Means these all community AMIs. Even you can search some thousands of AMIs also. And Amazon Linux, Mac OS, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat, SUSE Linux, or Debian. These are all the different flavors of Linux we have. Okay, as of now, I'm going to take Ubuntu. So Ubuntu is one of the popular Linux distribution name. Amazon Linux, Red Hat, SUSE, Debian, Fedora, CentOS. Like this, there are some hundreds of Linux distributions. But which one we are going to choose in this? Ubuntu. Mac is different, Windows is different again. Okay, now as of now, we took Windows instance or Linux instance. Which one we took? We took here Linux itself. Ubuntu is a Linux only. Okay. So then what is this meaning of Ubuntu server 24.04? Ubuntu is available in 20.04, 24.04, or it's maybe 22 also is available. LTS means long-term support release. HVM is it's running on hypervisor. What are all these we'll discuss. And here it's x86 means Intel. This is AMD. As of now, we took x86 means Intel. And instance type, we chosen the CPU. How many CPUs we got here? How many CPUs? One CPU and 1 GB RAM. What is the type of this?
Micro.
T2.micro. Why we chosen T2.micro is this instance type AWS is giving us as free of cost. AWS is giving this instance type as free of cost. Okay, that is the reason we have chosen this free tier eligible means it's giving at free of cost. Then key pair. As of now, we don't have any key pair. I'm going to create a new key pair. My Wipro key pair I have given. These two are the encryption algorithms. RSA is one of the popular encryption algorithm, and ED25519. This is also a new encryption algorithm itself, and it supports two file formats. One is .pem file or .ppk file. As of now, use RSA and .pem itself and create a new key pair. This key pair is downloaded for us. Can you guess it's a public key pair or private key pair? Is that public key pair or private key pair?
Private.
It's a private. Public key
Private,
has been with the instance itself. Okay, that is with the instance itself. Then here we are going with
PEM
the
is a
private enhanced mail. Okay, private enhanced mail. Okay, then here we have the network settings. As of now, we are going with the default options of the network. And what is
Hello,
this?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, here we are going with the default network options. Okay, as of now, we are going with the default network options. Later, we'll create our own VPC also. As of now, we are going with the default itself. With the default network, we are going. Okay. Then here, what is this meaning of allow SH traffic means? 22 port we are opening in the security group. 22 port we are opening in the security group. And what is this anywhere also? We'll discuss 0.0 also. That means from anywhere in the world, that instance is allowed to log in. And how much GB of storage we are getting? How much storage we are getting? 8 GB we are getting. And what is this meaning of GP3 is general purpose. So GP2, GP3 provision like this, we have the different things. Why we have taken general purposes? In the free tier, they're giving general purpose only as free of cost. Okay, so then you can go for advanced details also, but as of now, not required. And what is this number of instances? How many we want that number of instances we are going to choose here. And once we click on launch instance, our instance is going to be provisioned. Our instance is going to be provisioned, and we got.
Is there any limit for the? Is there any limit to create the instance?
Yes, definitely. It's a pre-tier account, right? That limits you can get it from your quotas. So in the service quotas, how much limits they have given for that account, that many only we can create. Otherwise, if you don't choose T2.micro or free tier eligible, they will start the billing also. They'll start the billing also, they will start. Okay, so now here we got an instance. Instance is in the pending state. After that, it comes to running state also. And if you want to shut down all these start, stop, reboot, terminate, or Windows, we can keep in hibernate mode also. Okay, so now if you want to terminate that instance, it's getting terminated also. Is getting terminated also. Okay, so till this, everyone need to do it, and everyone create an account. We'll create multiple in your next 60 to 70 days. We are going to create hundreds of instances, and we are going to connect it to them. Okay, yeah. Any doubts? So now that instance is terminated also. After some time, it would be removed from the console. And we are getting an instance ID. That ID is very unique for every instance in AWS environment. Yeah. Any doubts?
Srikanth, just now you created just one instance.
Yeah,
right?
one instance, and tomorrow we'll discuss more on this.
Okay.
Everyone create an account, then you can practice also.
Okay.
If you have an account, just navigate, nothing will happen. You just navigate. Okay, say in ad hoc way, try to navigate the portal also. So tomorrow we'll discuss more on the instance part. Yeah.
Srikanth?
Yeah. Yeah, please tell me.
No, Srikanth, sometimes your voice is not audible.
Maybe I'll change the headset tomorrow, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, try to create an
So we need
account.
to create IAM user only, right, Srikanth?
IAM
As of now, first time when we create root account, later we'll create
root
an
user.
IAM user also.
Okay, root account. Okay.
The root account we need to create for the first time.
Okay.
Okay?
So we have to create a root account also. But you said we
Yeah,
cannot,
first
right?
we need to create a root account because in the company will create it.
As of our own.
As of now, you
so-
can create a root account, but using root account is not a best practice. Need to use
Sorry.
IAM user.
Srikanth, your voice is disconnected. Srikanth. Can you
Yeah, yeah.
repeat?
Need to create a root account, but whenever we are using in the real time, need to use IAM user.
Okay, so as of now, we need to create root account only, right?
Root user
Root
only.
account, yeah. As of now, create a root account. Later, we will create an IAM user and we
IAM
can
user.
use that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah.
try to create this. Okay.
And what I'm requesting you, Sukant,
Yeah, yeah.
please send me